Hello, friends. This is Type 56, the story of the SKS and AK-47 in China. I'm Jason Clower. This is a course about why the PLA kept choosing obsolete weapons. This video is part of a preliminary introductory series that I'm calling PLA 101. I need to get you oriented with a little bit of scene-setting prehistory. Today, I want to explain in brief what the relationship was between the Chinese Communist Party and the Soviet Union when the Chinese Communists took over the country in 1949. There's no way for me to encapsulate a good but coherent story of the relationships of the Chinese Communists and the KMT and Moscow and the Comintern. But the important thing for me to establish right now is the relationship was not particularly close between Moscow and the Chinese Communist Party. Let's start with just the relationship between the two men, Stalin and Mao. It was complicated. I'm not qualified to try to psychologize Mao, but it sure looks to me like there was a big daddy complex there. Mao admired, revered, and feared Stalin. However, Mao didn't think of himself as Stalin's subordinate or even exactly his protege. In Mao's mind, he was closer to a peer of Stalin's, if a junior peer. In Mao's mind, he had done in China what Stalin had done in the Soviet Union, and he had done it by himself. There had been some contact with Moscow and the Comintern, but not much, and Mao was a leading force in the early Chinese Communist Party for making sure that they did not blindly do things the Soviet way. Mao really and truly had forged his own path of agrarian revolution. He was guided by his own thinking, and he was certainly inspired by Stalin, and he was eager to get stuff from Stalin if he could, but he had no intention of becoming a Soviet satellite. Mao traveled to Moscow to see Stalin after he ascended to power, and he really would have liked a warm reception, a good attaboy, a pat on the back, or at least on the head from his idol Stalin. That is not what he got. At first, he got no reception at all from Stalin. He was kept cooling his heels for, I believe, weeks. And Stalin treated Mao very poorly, very dismissively, even contemptuously. Every indication that I know of is that in Stalin's mind, Mao was little more than a jumped-up Asiatic chieftain, someone who could be useful, like a Ceausescu or a Kim Il-sung, but very much a tool and pawn of Soviet policy and Stalin's own machinations. Stalin definitely was not looking to, adopt Mao as his son or anoint him as his heir, as the Mac Daddy of world socialism. That's really what Mao wanted. It's actually what he kind of expected. He certainly thought that he deserved it. And spoiler alert, after Stalin is gone, this unresolved father complex is going to cause bonkers ups and downs in Mao's relationship with Moscow. It will be one of those rare moments in history where unquestionably the toxic Jerry Springer relationship between two or three world leaders is the leading direct cause of huge worldwide ripple effects. This is one of those cases where the great man theory of history definitely applies. This has been a preliminary PLA 101 video in our series Type 56, the story of the SKS and AK-47 in China. If you like this sort of content, please like and subscribe. There's a lot more coming.